a detour quickly, and here are what TV Narendran of Tata Steel had to say exclusively to ET Now.
Thank you very much, Mr. Narendran, for joining us here on ET Now. You spoke in your session about the fact that climate change is not some distant priority, it's an immediate priority. But there were a couple of challenges also that were spoken about in that session, one of them pertaining to, of course, the cost effectiveness of the solutions, because we might be getting into a recession in the second half of the year, as most economists and, global banks have been predicting. So how feasible is the cost part of this move to net zero transition?
So obviously the transition is going to be complex, and it's going to cost all of us money, right? Whether as a corporate, as a government, as a consumer, you need to pay more for green products, you need to pay more to produce green products, and you need to support industries to make the transition, right? So to me, it's inevitable, but I think it's also an opportunity. Just like you had the internet economy over the last 30 years creating a lot of opportunities, a lot of business models, a lot of new companies. I think there's a lot of opportunity as well to solve the problems that we need to solve. And I think there are many companies coming into the space, and many industries will get disrupted because of this transition. So I see it as a challenge and an opportunity. I'd rather focus on the opportunity.
On the opportunity, and I think very rightly said that opportunity can come via tech as well, tech-related solutions as well. But what are some of the key priorities that industries and, of course, corporates should probably look at seeing the macroeconomic disruptions?
So one is, you're talking in the context of the climate change, right? Or transition?
Right, transition.
Yeah.
Transition.
So in terms of transition, one thing is clear. Europe has already started putting in the regulatory environment for a greener society, right? So that's going to impact all of us. If you're exporting into Europe and there's a carbon border adjustment mechanism, it's going to impact us. So we also need to be ready and for a world which is changing the regulatory environment in the context of these challenges. The US is also doing it with the IRA. So I think in India, we made a good start with our renewable energy goals. I think we made much more progress than we had promised, in international forums, so that's great. But I think now the policy environment needs to come in to help industry transition. I think the bigger companies will do it anyways, but I think we need to work more towards helping the smaller companies and the SMEs make this transition, because some of them may not really realize what's happening in this subject.
Right, and at the end of the day, all the stakeholders need to come together to sort of move towards a common goal, which is, of course, towards net zero. But, sir, coming to industry-specific questions, globally with China opening up, this, of course, as COVID pressures are easing, there is a slowdown and there is a pressure of sorts, but how do you see metal prices easing in that context?
So I think just now metal prices are positive because China has come out stronger than most people thought. I mean, the Chinese GDP growth rates are inching upwards in terms of the forecast. First people said it could be 3%, then it was 4%, now they're saying 5%. And 5% growth for an economy of China's size is huge. So I think post the restrictions removed for COVID, the removal of the COVID restrictions, I think the economy is picked up. Obviously we'd like to see more. So metal prices have increased globally, but at least in steel, if you look at it, I think it's about $100, $150 higher than it was 3 months back, right?
All right, so that was the exclusive conversation with the top boss of Tata Steel, TV Narendran, with ET Now on